What's up, everybody? Welcome to Dad's Expensive Hobby.
What's up?
Today we are taking a look at the Marvel Legends Deadpool from the Deadpool and Wolverine movie. I know a Marvel Legends figure is a little out of the ordinary for this channel, but I was at Walmart yesterday and I saw these three figures and I just had to pick them up. I thought they looked really, really cool. For not having much experience with Marvel Legends, this is not a bad figure, this Deadpool. He does a few things that I'm not super thrilled with, but we'll get into that here down the road. But before we get anything, which one of these two do you all think I should review right after him? Because these are going to be the next three videos. Tell me down in the comments. But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's do first things first, and let's get him scaled up and see how tall he is.
Maximum effort.
Okay, to the top of his head, Deadpool stands right at 6 1/4 inches tall, which would make him right at 16 centimeters. And just because it's one of my videos, and it wouldn't be one of my videos without a DBZ reference, let's stand him next to Saiyan Raised on Earth Goku. And I think that works out pretty well because Ryan Reynolds is about 6'3", and Goku, is I think supposed to be about 5'9". So I think that works out pretty good. I don't want to open these two figures yet and compare them, but in the subsequent videos, I'll do comparison heights with them. But that's all I've got for scale for him. Let's dig in and take a look at his accessories.
Propane and propane accessories.
Okay, for a $25 figure, he doesn't come with a lot, but he does have a decent little assortment of stuff that all looks really cool. He does come with two separate sets of hands. He comes with two fist hands on him in the package for holding his two adamantium katanas and baby knife. And he comes with two trigger finger hands for holding his pistols. He comes with two pistols. His two pistols look actually pretty decent. They got some good little detail on them, if you can see that there. He comes with two awesome adamantium katanas. His little katanas look pretty good. I mean, the handles maybe could get a little bit more detail in them, but they look pretty good and they definitely serve your purpose. And let's not forget about baby knife. Check out baby knife. How cute is that? And that's it. I mean, for 25 bucks, I guess we can't really complain. I don't have any other Marvel Legends to really bounce it off of, if that's a light set of accessories or if that's a lot or if that's about on par. I don't know. Tell me down in the comments if you're somebody that collects Marvel Legends. But I think that's pretty decent for $25 and they all look pretty good. But that's all I've got for his accessories. Let's move in and take a look at his paint and detail.
I must paint you.
Oh, that's...
Okay, as far as his paint and detail, for a $25 figure, it looks pretty good. He still does, I'm going to go ahead and complain, he's got a little bit of a plasticky look. I mean, it's just, just red plastic a lot. But where there is paint, it's pretty good for the most part. But let's start with his head. His face paint is done really well. It's nice and clean. There's paint on his shoulders, and it looks pretty good. And on his arms, the paint looks pretty good. No real complaints there. The paint like through here in this area, and then there's like little gold, if you can see that, there and there, and on the abdomen, and that looks really cool. This little strap right here just kind of floats, and it's got some gold like inlay paint right there, and there's little details make it kind of look like a little leather strappy thing there. Of course, they really nailed that kind of that Gore-Tex kind of almost like a basketball kind of texture throughout him. That looks really good, but I'm going to assume this is a lot of reused parts and molds, because I know they've made other Deadpools before, and it's all over his little hood and stuff there too. Paint on his hands looks good. Details on most of his accessories, like his little pistol, looks good. His katanas, there could probably be a little bit more work put into that, but I'm not going to be super picky and complaining, especially for a $25 figure. His belt, the main buckle, actually looks a little off to me. That looks like parts of that right there in the buckle. If you can see, like, that's kind of sloppy. The red looks all right, but that's kind of sloppy.
It's not that hard.
The gold looks pretty good, except for when you get around here, like these gold, and then you get back here to that back one, no gold on that. They didn't paint that one.
How dare you?
And it's the same on the other side. I guess maybe where it's towards the back, they just kind of didn't really think you'd notice or cared. But we did. Anyways, gold through here looks all right. For some reason, they went with a gloss paint for the boots. I don't really know why they did that, and it's darker than the rest of his uniform. So, I mean, take that for what it is. I'm just pointing it out. The boots look okay, gold, and where it is painted right here on the black looks all right. On back here on his butt, same thing. That whatever you would call that, whatever that print or pattern is, it looks good enough. The suit would have looked a lot better with some shading or like a wash or something on it, but I'm not going to sit here and cry, not for $25. But overall, it looks pretty good. I mean, it looks like Deadpool and it's passable. It is kind of bright. I'm more of a fan of like from like the first Deadpool movie where it was the suit was a little bit darker looking. But this looks pretty cool overall. I don't think you're going to be too displeased with it if you pick this figure up. That's pretty much all I've got for his paint and detail. It's nothing special. It's not going to blow your hair back, but it's not bad either. So let's go ahead and take a look at his articulation.
I know Kung Fu.
Okay, this figure does move around pretty good, and you know it should, because Deadpool is a super athletic character, so he does a lot of acrobatic type stuff. But let's start at the head. The head leans forward pretty good, looks up pretty good, does tilt and all that. It's kind of janky feeling to an extent, but it does move around pretty well, and that's because it is, if I can rip his head off, it's on a weird looking little double ball peg sort of.
Oh, hallelujah.
But it's done weird. It seems like most of the movement comes from this top ball right here, not from the bottom where it kind of should come from. So it limits it a little bit. It's almost like it's just on like a ball peg, not a double ball peg, but it does work well enough, so I'm not going to complain. I can tell that the neck is supposed to move, but mine is super stiff and doesn't really move. But it is what it is, $25 figure, and the head pose is good enough, so I'm not going to complain. His shoulders are real good, way past 90 right there, and they have a really good butterfly system, if you can see that right there. It looks really, really good. I actually like it. I kind of wish SH Figure Arts would adopt it. But he can reach all the way across himself. That looks really good. Look at that range of motion. The hands can touch out in front of him with zero problem if I can get it to cooperate. Of course, I run my mouth about how good it is. So right there, that's pretty good. I like that. He does have a bicep swivel. I like that. Double jointed elbow is crazy good, but the arms are a little skinny, so that kind of looks weird. It almost looks like a scene from one of the Deadpool movies where he like gets a broken arm or something. I'm not a huge fan of the way that elbow looks, but awesome range of motion, so I'm not going to complain. I'm used to SH Figure Arts, so this ab articulation is a little odd for me, but it does move really well. Heck, you can fold him literally in half. And where these are flexible, he bends back really good. Has a weird little look to his belly, but yeah, he bends back really well. And you can twist him around.
That's a twist. That's very twisty.
I don't know really why you would need to other than make him look injured or whatever. And this belt right here, it gets in the way a little bit, but it floats and moves around, so I don't have too big of a problem with it. His legs are nice and flexible as long as the guns aren't in the holsters. If they're in the holsters, it seriously impedes it. But I'm not going to put them back in there and show you. Just take my word for it. But if they're out of the holsters, he gets almost a complete 180 split, so that's pretty good. Leg comes forward pretty good, at least up to 90, so I don't have any complaints there. And even though he's got a hint of butt cheeks back here, basically does a full-on gymnastic split with no problem. Does have a thigh swivel, and I like how they've done it. They've kind of hidden the paint. They've hidden the cut with the little leg strap here on both sides, so I like that. But the thigh swivel is really good. Double jointed knee is fantastic.
Thank you.
So that looks really good. And the knee, I think the knee looks a lot better than the elbow because that kind of knee pad hides the joint for the most part. So I like the double jointed knee. I like his ankles too, because look at that. That's like a hinge down there. It's not a ball hinge. It's just a hinge all the way down toe point. And if you finagle a little bit with that soft plastic, you can bring it up and it comes up good. And it's got a built-in thing for the ankle rocker. So that's really, really good. SH Figure Arts needs to definitely take a page out of that book as well. No toe hinge, which is perfectly fine with me. I hate toe hinges. I don't think they ever work. All in all, his articulation's really good. I don't necessarily like the way they do that double ball peg, but that's just me kind of being a Karen a little bit, and I don't really like how his elbow looks. The range of motion's fantastic with it, but I just don't like the way it looks. It looks a little janky. And as I've been fiddling with, I've noticed these are pinless joints up here in the elbows, but they're pin joints down in the knee. I don't know why they decided to use two different types of joints. These elbows are going to wear out way before these knees do, but that's just something for you to keep in mind. And this ab articulation is a little wonky just because I'm not used to that. I don't like it as well, but it functions well. It just doesn't really look all that good. But overall, his articulation is really good. I have zero problems with it. Like I said, there's just little complaints, you know, here and there. Overall, it's a good figure. Let's move into my final thoughts.
Now listen to me very carefully.
Okay, overall, this Deadpool is a good figure. I mean, he's not the best figure I've ever handled, but he's certainly not the worst. You know, a couple of little things with, you know, with his aesthetic. Looks a little plasticky. Couple of little missteps with the paint. His articulation is good. It's above passable, but it's not fantastic. There's a couple of things I wish it did a little bit different. Overall, I would say this is a solid B figure, particularly for $25. It seems like he could have maybe had a little bit more of accessories, but like I said earlier, I'm not sure if Marvel Legends, that's just what they come with or not. But he's a B. This is a good, strong B figure. I highly recommend you pick him up. I highly recommend you pick up all three of them because they're all, you know, are relatively inexpensive and they all look kind of cool, at least as of right now. I haven't dug into these two yet. Remember to vote and tell me which one you want to watch next, him or him. But yeah, that's all I've got for Deadpool. I recommend you do buy him. I recommend you check out my other videos, both of these guys' videos and my previous videos. They're pretty good too. With all that said, this has been Dad with Dad's Expensive Hobby, and I'll talk to you all in the next video.